Hello guys, welcome to the Talking News. Please subscribe and like right now. Push that notification bell if you want notifications. So what we're going to do is we're going over the Savannah Spurlock case. This is coming out of Richmond, Kentucky. Actually, it's Lexington, Garrett County, where a young lady that had just had twins in December decided that she would go out to a college bar with a few friends just to get away for a bit. And this bar was called the Other Bar in Lexington. Her friends ended up leaving her behind because they had other responsibilities and things. They got into an argument what time to leave, really. And she ended up hanging out with a few guys that they met at the bar that night. She was caught on surveillance camera standing outside of that bar with these three men, where she was also witnessed riding in their car going towards one of their homes in Garrett County, which is David Sparks' parents' property, I believe. David Sparks is the white male that you see walking with Savannah Spurlock in that security footage from the parking lot of that bar. Now, people were suspecting that David Sparks, a lot of people really felt like David knew exactly what happened to her, but they weren't certain whether or not the two African American males knew of what happened or not. We do know that they were interviewed, so this is what they're saying now. Police have taken David Sparks into custody, and I'll explain why in just a second. And he's the primary suspect or the person of interest at this moment. He was arrested on a few charges, which we'll go over in a second. So what happened? So Savannah Spurlock left the bar with these men, and her mother said that she FaceTimed with her daughter, and that her daughter told her that she would be home within the next several hours. That morning come, and that was not the case. In fact, Savannah Spurlock's phone was shut off at 8:30 in the morning. Her mother couldn't get a hold of her, and things just really took a turn for the worse. Now, the home in Garrett County was, the police got a warrant and were able to search it, and they found nothing. That was surprising to me, because we all know that they were able to get on this case quick enough. They should have found something. You know, there was a few things, but if you want more details on this, you can refer to my other older videos. So what ended up happening is we went through a spell, which we call it, the case went kind of cold. We kept pushing the videos, and the media kept pushing her story, but we just wasn't getting answers, no matter, what we come up with and what we done. It wasn't until this week that we finally got a tip, and it was a huge tip. Turns out that very same property that police had already searched and where Savannah Spurlock was last seen had a report of a foul odor coming off of that property. And at that time, we didn't know where that tip was coming from. It was, there was a few of my commenters that knew. They put it in the comments, so you should always look in the comment area. They told us that it was probably David Sparks' father, which it turned out to be. It was David Sparks' family were concerned about an odor that was coming from their yard, and they called police. And police rushed into that property, secured it until a warrant come through. They got that warrant. They searched the property that night, and just before midnight, they recovered the remains of Savannah Spurlock. They really didn't give us much details of what they found, but now we have at least some details since they went to court Monday, this morning. And this is what I have for you right now. And some of the details are very devastating. So what are these that they revealed in court today? So surrounding the death of the Kentucky mom, Savannah Spurlock, whose remains were found behind the home in Garrett County months after she vanished. They found out that her body was wrapped in plastic trash bags when she was discovered in a 19-inch deep grave last week. And cops testified even more details. So initially, back in January, when cops actually talked to David Sparks and the two other men that was with Savannah, Sparks allegedly told the investigators that Spurlock came back to his house. She fell asleep, then later woke him up to ask him where she was. According to one of the detectives that were testifying, they said that Sparks allegedly said he gave her the address and then went back to sleep, waking up later to find her gone. But most shocking, what they found in that 19-inch shallow grave was not something that would even come close to the story he had told detectives. In fact, what they discovered in the 19-inch hole was Spurlock's feet were bound with tape. She was folded over and a rug was behind her back. And so the detectives testified Monday, according to WTVQ, adding that the rug came from Sparks' bedroom. Residue in the closet in Sparks' house matched that of Spurlock's DNA. Just adds to the evidence against Mr. Sparks. They're saying that she was completely nude, and this is just really sad news. I mean, this is really hard. We knew something like this was going to happen because, like I said, I feel like women are being hunted. You're going to start seeing this kind of thing more and more. Usually they try to hit people like prostitutes that have run away from home that don't really have anybody that would look for them, so you don't hear about it so much. But in this case, he took somebody that was very loved and had a life, which is something that doesn't happen often. What was strange for me is he was arrogant enough to do so, like he just knew he could get away with this. And not only that, she was put in such a shallow grave. How in the world did police miss that? I don't know. Am I alone here? I hear them saying, good job, police, but I have to say, I don't feel they did do a good job. I'm sorry, guys. In fact, the grave was so shallow that I would have to question whether it was done on purpose. Probably not. But, I mean, it's just, how in the world do you do a search for somebody that's missing and miss such a shallow site? It just reminds me of the Kelsey Barrett case all over again. If you go back and remember, she was missing, and the cops, I think they just put it in their head, well, this is a missing person's case, probably an argument. They don't take it serious. They don't treat it professionally. Or, maybe they know somebody. But it took Kelsey Barrett's mom coming back to Woodstown, Colorado, staying at her daughter's townhome and searching for evidence. And she did that. She found it. She had to call the police. And, of course, the forensics and everything come back out to Kelsey Barrett's townhome. They did the test to find out, yes, Kelsey Barrett's mother was correct. There was DNA evidence at the house that kind of led to the fact that it was no longer a missing persons case. Now, reflecting back to Savannah Spurlock, I just knew something deep inside told me, I knew she never left that property, and I felt like police could have done a better job there. And maybe, they made a mistake. Maybe it was a rookie. I don't know. But hopefully it doesn't ever happen again. I'm just happy that the family's finally seeking justice. So I'm having to depend on articles because I couldn't get the court records myself this round. They found Andrew McDonald's body as well this week. So it's been a very active week, and it's hard for me to find time to cover everything like I normally, was able to do. Now, according to those articles, they say that Sparks had previously told police that Spurlock went with him and two other men to his Price Court home in Lancaster in the early morning hours, January 4th, after leaving the Lexington other bar. And one of the detectives testified Sparks said that the other two men left the home and Spurlock slept in Sparks' bed while he slept on the couch. Sparks told investigators that the following morning Spurlock woke him up to ask their address, as if she was getting a ride. So that's a little bit different from what we heard earlier. Sparks said he told her and went back to sleep and woke up to find her gone, according to the detective. We're finally hearing about some of the evidence that they also collected. So we heard in some of the early searches of the Sparks home on Price Court, they found a gray rug which was similar in dimension and color to the one that was found with Spurlock's in the shallow hole. And other testimony said that Mr. Sparks had texted his sister on January 4th to ask her where she bought a rug because he wanted to buy another one. A bloodstain consistent to Spurlock's DNA also was found just inside the door of the bedroom closet. The residue was not visible and had not been found using the latest blood, the chemicals that they use. So detectives did not see it during the first search of the Price Court home. What I want to know is why in the world wouldn't they bring that kind of stuff with them the first time and at least try? I don't get it. It just reminds me of the Kelsey Barrett case. It's just sloppy work, guys. If you get a chance to get in that early, you got to do it in a way that you find what you're looking for. You can't just go in there and kind of say, look in the door and say, nope, don't see a thing. But anyways, they're saying it didn't look like there was an attempt made to clean up any of the residue. So at no point during the previous discussions with police did Sparks say Spurlock had hurt herself inside his home, nor did he mention that he had a missing rug. The detective also said that the black trash bags and tape is similar to the tape used to bind Spurlock's feet were found in Sparks' Price Court home. But still at this time, Spurlock's cause of death and manner and time of death, it hasn't been determined as of now. But we can imagine that we will find that information soon, especially considering the fact that they have planned Savannah's funeral. It is to be private. They are having a viewing for the public. Let me get that information for you. Okay, so I brought this up for you. So the Spurlock's funeral services and burial will be private. So a visitation has been scheduled from 5 to 9 p.m. Tuesday at Oldham and Roberts and Powell Funeral Home in Richmond, according to the obituary. Usually the Missing Savannah page would keep me up to date, but I haven't heard anything from them lately. I know it's been a lot of hard hours of researching and work to make these videos and to spend time on the social medias, that we've all done to try to keep her face seen. And finally, you can see the justice come for all that hard work. So that's really a very justified moment for people that did these things. But as far as I want to go back to the fact of how police got the tips to find Savannah. And what we're finding out is, the parents had to call the police, give that tip against their own child, and that had to have been very difficult. But it's the right thing to do, especially if you were to visualize if it was your own child that was going through this. So now you have two families going through a horrific grieving process, and neither side it's going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult, in fact. But I'm sure as things unwind, we will get more and more details. They really didn't give us much to go on as far as now. At least I didn't have much to find right now. But of course we had Andreen, her case blow wide open this week as well. Andreen McDonald, check out that video. She is another woman that is finally going to see her justice. Thank God, because it's been mentally, God, it's just been terrible. But I want to make sure we have the two situations we're dealing with on this. We have domestic violence with Andreen McDonald, and then we have what I believe they're going to find out it's connected with the violent porn, violent hunting of women, men who want to, harm women for sexual pleasures. This is something that is growing, and it's something we need to be aware of. Make our daughters, our mothers, sisters, friends, women to be awake and aware of what's the reality around them. Not everybody is there to help you. And I really want to make sure that women realize that we do have men out there hunting for these taboos. Of course, I'm not saying it's all men. This is a very small percentage of men, but there is more and more of them. I do believe that you will find out that there are tons more cases like the Savannah Spurlock case. It's just a matter of being able to care enough about those women that nobody else cares about in order to make that connection. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and close out for now. I'm working on a memorial for Andreen McDonald. I have a few of the groups working with me on that one. I think it's Chain Breakers that's helping me put that together this time. And hopefully I'll have that out soon. I want to send my blessings and my hugs, my love to the family of Miss Savannah Spurlock. And I do hope you guys get the justice you deserve, and that you can also find the peace you deserve as well to move forward. I wanted to mention the fact I did order a mic finally yesterday, so that should be coming in tomorrow. So hopefully I can bring you better audio. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for caring. That's the number one thing. And that I will see you guys soon with more stories and updates.